ॐ नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय। ॐ नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय। ॐ नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय। नारायणं नमस्कृत्य नरं चैव नरोत्तमं देवीं सरस्वतीं व्यासं ततो जयमुदीरयेत्। नष्टप्रायेषु अभद्रेषु नित्यं भागवत सेवया भगवतीरुत्तमश्लोके भक्तिर्भवति नैष्टिके। ॐ अज्ञानतिमिरन्धस्य ज्ञानाञ्जनशलाकया चक्षुरुन्मिलितं येन तस्मै श्रीगुरवे नमः। श्रीचैतन्यमनोभीष्टं स्थापितं येन भूतले स्वयं रूपकदा मह्यं ददाति स्वपदान्तिकं। नमो विष्णुपादाय कृष्णपृष्ठाय भूतले श्रीमते भक्तिवेदान्त स्वामिनिति नामिने। नमस्ते सरस्वते देवे गौरवाणी प्रचारिणे निर्विशेष शून्यवादी पाश्चात्यदेशतारिणे। जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभो नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर श्रीवासादि गौर भक्त वृंद। हरे कृष्णा 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 हरे हरे, हरे राम 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 हरे हरे। Hare Krishna, reading from Srimad Bhagavatam. By His Divine Grace, A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada Ki Jai. We are reading from Canto 3, Chapter 20, Conversation between Maitreya and Vidura. We are at the final section of this chapter, where where Lord Brahma's creation is being explained by Maitreya Muni. So we come to text 28. सोऽवधार्यास्य कार्पण्यं विविक्ताध्यात्मदर्शनः विमुञ्चान्तनुं घोराम् इत्युक्तो विमुचोचः. Translation.
The Lord, who can distinctly see the minds of others, pursued Brahma's distress and said to him, cast off this impure body of yours. This commanded by the Lord, Brahma cast off his body. Purport. The Lord is described here by the word Vivikta Dhyatma Darshanha. If anyone can completely perceive another's distress without doubt, it is the Lord Himself. If someone is in distress and wants to get relief from his friend, sometimes it so happens that his friend does not appreciate the volume of distress he is suffering. But for the Supreme Lord, it is not difficult. The Supreme Lord, as Paramatma, is sitting within the heart of every living entity, and He directly perceives the exact causes of distress. In Bhagavad Gita, the Lord says, Sarvasya Chaham Hridi Sannivishtaha. I am sitting in everyone's heart, and because of me, one's remembrance and forgetfulness occur. Thus, whenever one fully surrenders unto the Supreme Lord, one finds that He is sitting within one's heart. He can give us direction how to get out of dangers or how to approach Him in devotional service. The Lord, however, asked Brahma to give up his present body because it had created the demoniac principle. According to Sridhara Swami, Brahma's constant dropping of his body does not refer to his actually giving up his body. Rather, he suggests that Brahma gave up a particular mentality. Mind is the subtle body of the living entity. We may sometimes be absorbed in some thought which is sinful, but if we give up the sinful thought, it may be said that we give up the body. Brahma's mind was not in correct order when he created the demons. It must have been full of passion because the entire creation was passionate. Therefore, such passionate sons were born. It follows that any father and mother should also be careful while begetting children. The mental condition of a child depends upon the mental status of his parents at the time he is conceived. According to the Vedic system, therefore, the Garbhadhana Samskara or the ceremony of giving birth to a child is observed. Before begetting a child, one has to sanctify his perplexed mind. When the parents engage their minds in the lotus feet of the Lord, and in such a state the child is born, naturally, good devotee children come. When the society is full of such good population, there is no trouble from demoniac mentalities. Hare Krishna.
Now the Lord, Brahmaji is approaching here, Kshirodakshai Vishnu. And the Lord here, very beautiful word here, Adhyatma Darshana. Adhyatma Darshana means one who can distinctly see the minds of the others. This is the prerogative of only Lord Vishnu. Even Lord Brahma and Lord Shiva, they are not Adhyatma Darshana. And that's why we see, that Brahmaji could not foresee the benedictions asked by Hiranyakashipu, or then Lord Shiva by Bhasmasur, Vrikasur, so on and so forth. Lord, who can distinctly see the minds of the others, perceived Brahma's distress and told him, cast off this impure body. And Brahmaji, he casted off his body. In the purport, Srila Prabhupada writes that the Lord can completely perceive one's distress. Because the Lord is Hridayastha, He is situated in the heart, and He is the greatest well-wisher, Sardhaya Sarva Bhutanam. Srila Prabhupada quotes here, Sarvasya Chaham Hridhi Sannivishto Mattah Smrtir Jnanam Apohanam Cha. So Prabhupada says sometimes we may be distressed, or sometimes we may be even happy as well. And we may go to our, even the best friend, and they are unable to fathom the quantum of happiness that we have, or the quantum of distress that we have. Why? Because this is the human limitation. But the Supreme Lord, right, the Supreme Lord, because He is Antaryami, seated within the heart, can completely gauge the quantum of the happiness or distress or all the emotions that living entity feels. And therefore, He is known as Adhyatma Darshana. And more so, whenever one fully surrenders unto the Supreme Lord, then Lord can give directions to such a devotee. So this is, the second point here. Third point, Srila Prabhupada mentions here that Srila Prabhupada quotes Sridhara Swami, and where there is again and again reference to Brahmaji casting off his body. So that is not a Brahmaji is committing suicide or something like that. Sridhara Swami says, Brahmaji casting off the body means that Brahmaji is giving up the particular mentality, the sinful mentality, passionate mentality. As the sons born here are Yakṣas, Rākṣasas, demons, and by the activities of the demons. So Sridhar Swami writes that Brahmaji is, because he wanted to create, Brahmaji's mind was filled with passion. And because of this passionate mind, such passionate progeny is produced. Later we will see there is a king Agnidra. And King Agnidra was born. The Priyavrat was extremely passionate. And of course, because he had to do also something which is next to impossible. And therefore, Agnidra was also very, very passionate. He was very, very, the sensual towards his wife. And therefore, Prabhupada says, it is very important to pacify one's mind. So sometimes we may have a very, very sinful thought in our mind. But when we give up that thought, it is as good as giving up that mental body. Because mind is the subtle body of the living entity. Kshatram, chakshusparshanam cha, rasanam granam evacha, manascha. All these things will follow the mind because the mind is the subtle body. Now, Brahma's mind was not in the correct order, and therefore Lord said, give up this mentality, cast off this body. So it particularly refers to casting off the particular mentality, and not very grossly that Brahmaji committing suicide. That is not the point here. Casting off the particular mentality. And this is the importance of state of parents when they are conceiving a child. And Srila Prabhupada writes the importance of Garbhadan Samskar. How it is important to sanctify the perplexed mind so that in the proper state of mind, one will engage in the activity and proper children will be born. Otherwise, there is a danger of Varana Sankara. Text 29. Tam Kunacharanam Bhojam Madavivvalalocharam Kanchi Kalapa Vilasat Dukkachanna Daro Sadham. Translation.
Translation. The body given up by Brahma took the form of the evening twilight when the day and night meet, a time which kindles passion. The Asuras, who are passionate by nature, dominated as they are by the element of Rajas, took it for a damsel whose lotus feet resounded with the tinkling of anklets, whose eyes were wide with intoxication, and whose hips were covered by fine cloth over which shone a girdle. Purport. As early morning is the period for spiritual cultivation, The beginning of evening is the period for passion. Demonic men are generally very fond of sex enjoyment, therefore, they very much appreciate the approach of evening. The demons took the approach of the evening twilight to be a beautiful woman and they began to adore her in various ways. They imagined the twilight to be a very beautiful woman with tinkling bangles on her feet, a girdle on her hips, and beautiful breasts. And for their sensual satisfaction, they imagined the appearance of this beautiful girl before them. Hare Krishna.
So the body which was given off by Brahmaji took the form of the evening twilight. So now, it not always very figure. It is always actual. There is the figurative explanation as well. It is not that before Brahma was there not a twilight, not like that. But the Madonmattata in that twilight was very specifically appreciated by the Asuras. So dancing, they accepted, just like you will see in many Hindi movie songs where, when there is the hero is having some pyala of, some, he will have some rum in the hand or something like that. And he will be simply waiting for when the evening appears. And there are so many songs on glorifying the evening. Okay, this is exactly what this, the demons are doing. They took the twilight as the beautiful damsel. And, she's Apsara coming to enjoy the life. And they were imagining the different the features of the twilights as the different bodily features of this Apsara. And they took this with a great happiness. And this is how they imagined the appearance of this beautiful girl, which was the twilight was being born. Text 30. Anonya Ashlesha Tanga Nirantara Payodharam Sunasam Sudvijam Snigdha Hasa Leelavalokanam. Translation.
Her breast projected upward because they were clinging to each other, and they were too contagious to admit any intervening space. She had shapely nose and beautiful teeth. A lovely smile played on her lips, and she cast a sportful glance at the Asuras.
Yeah. So now, because the Asuras were thinking this is Apsara, the twilight also appeared. And this is the very vivid description of this twilight. And the twilight was very happily accepted by this Apsara. Guhantim Vridayatmanam Nila Lava Nilalaka Varuthinim Upalabhyam Suram Dharma Sarve Sammuhu Muhustriyam. Translation.
Adorned with dark traces, she hid herself as it were out of shyness. Upon seeing that girl, the Asuras were all infatuated with an appetite for sense enjoyment. Purport. The difference between demons and demigods is that a beautiful woman very easily attracts the minds of demons, but she cannot attract the mind of a godly person. A godly person is full of knowledge, and a demoniac person is full of ignorance. Just as a child is attracted by a beautiful doll, similarly, a demon who is less intelligent and full of ignorance is attracted by material beauty and an appetite for sense enjoyment. The godly person knows that this nicely dressed and ornamented attraction of high breast, high hips, beautiful nose, and fair complexion is Maya. All the beauty a woman can display is only a combination of flesh and blood. Sri Shankaracharya has advised all persons not to be attracted by the interaction of flesh and blood. They should be attracted by the real beauty in spiritual life. The real beauty in Krishna is Krishna and Radha. One who is attracted by the beauty of Radha and Krishna cannot be attracted by the false beauty of this material world. That is the difference between a demon and a godly person or devotee.
Adorned with, so out of shyness, the girl was smiling as if appeared smiling. And upon seeing that girl, the twilight, Asuras all became infatuated with an appetite to enjoy her. In the purport, Srila Prabhupada writes, this is the difference between Devata and Asura, demons and the demigods. What is the difference? The difference is that the Devatas and Asuras, the asuras will be very, very prone upon enjoying the bhoga. They will simply, while the devatas, the natural thought of the devata will not be inclination towards the bhoga. Right. So this Prabhupada says, just like the child is attracted to the beautiful doll, similarly the demons are attracted to the beauty of the opposite gender. And this refers to man getting attracted to woman, or woman getting attracted to man. Forgetting that the entire body is made up of the flesh and the blood, and these are the real ornaments of the body. And there is a very strong verse by Shankaracharya where he is addressing his sannyasi disciples that do not get attracted by the flesh and the blood, but you should be attracted by the pastimes of Lord Govinda. Right. And Prabhupada says that Vishya Vinivartante, that whenever one gets attracted to higher enjoyment in the life, the lower taste will automatically go away. So devotee is not so frantic about giving up the material attraction. Devotee is frantic about is cultivating the spiritual attraction. And on the strength of the spiritual attraction, the material attraction will fade away in the due course of time eventually. Text 32. Aho rupam, aho dhairyam, aho asya navam vayam, madhe kamayan ananam akameva viparsati visarpati. Translation.
The demons praised her. Oh, what a beauty! What rare self-control! What a budding youth! In the midst of us all, who are passionately longing for her, she is moving about like one absolutely free from passion. Thank you.
Yeah. So the demons now, they began to dance around her and began to, just glorify her. Very, very typical Bollywood song like Roop Tera Mastana. Like that, they were just moving around this twilight and they were, Aho Rupam, what a form you have. Aho Dhairyam, what a self-control that you have. Aho Asyam Navam Vayam. Okay, how, you are so youthful. Madhye, amongst all of us, you are passionately longing along and you are moving absolutely as if you are free from the passion. So this is how the demons, they accepted the twilight. Text 33. Vitarkayanto bahudha tam sandhyam pramadakrutim abhisambhavya vishrambhat paryaprishan kumedasaha. Translation.
Indulging in various speculations about the evening twilight, which appeared to them endowed with the form of a young woman, the wicked-minded asuras treated her with respect and fondly spoke to her as follows.
So now, very powerful. Vitarkayanto. Vitarkayanto means indulging in vitarka, a lot of speculation. Bahudam, tam sandhyam, the twilight. Pramadakritim. Pramadakritim means they thought it as pramada, as a young woman, and akritim in the form of. So pramadakritim. And they began to now speak. Kumedasaha. Kumedasaha means this wicked-minded demon began to speak to this twilight, sandhyam, in following words. Text 34. So pramada means the young woman. There is a syrup also which is called as a pramada. So this is pramada means the young woman. So next, text 34. This is the Ayurvedic one. So Ayurvedic names are a lot of times Sanskrit names. And so this is like one of this pramada which comes for the womanly kind of a diseases and disorders, young womanly disorders. So there is this pramada brand is there. So this comes from Srimad Bhagavatam. Text 34. Kasi kasyasya ruram trambhoru kovarthasya tetra bhamini rupadravina papyena durvaganno vibhadase. Translation.
Who are you, O pretty girl? Whose wife or daughter are you? And what can be the object of your appearing before us? Why do you tantalize us, unfortunate as we are, with the priceless commodity of your beauty. Purport. The mentality of the demons is being enamored by the false beauty of this material world is expressed herein. The demonic can pay any price for the skin beauty of this material world. They work very hard all day and night, but the purpose of their hard work is to enjoy sensual life. Sometimes they misrepresent themselves as karma yogis, not knowing the meaning of the word yoga. Yoga means to link up with the Supreme Personality of Godhead or to act in Krishna consciousness. A person who works very hard, no matter in what occupation, and who offers the results of the work to service of the Supreme Personality of Godhead Krishna is called a Karma Yogi. Right.
So this is a full Bollywood song is going on here. Who are you? Oh, pretty girl. Right. Kaun ho tum? Kahan se aayo? Those kind of things they are asking. Whose wife or daughter are you? They are more interested in that because otherwise they are ready to propose themselves to her. And what can be the object of you appearing before us? And why you have come here? Why do tantalize us, unfortunate as we are, with the priceless commodity of your beauty? So this is how the demons started to roam around, revolve around this, the Sandhya, which they thought of as Pramadakritim, and therefore they are called as Kumedasah. In the purport, Srila Prabhupada writes that the mentality of the demons is enamored by the skin beauty. They will work hard daytime and party harder at the night. And this is how the entire life is simply passed on. And life after life, this will be the passing. Work hard, party hard. Like Monday to Friday, extreme hard work. Saturday, Sunday, extreme enjoyment. And enjoyment is all about, again, Bhoga Ishwarya Prasaptana. And this is how sometimes thinking that they are working hard, they think themselves as karma yogi. Like recently, one person talked about 70 hours per week, and we have respect for such a person. But working hard is not karma yoga. That people have to understand, right? Working hard is not karma yoga. Working hard is karma. Yoga means when you connect that karma to the Supreme Lord, then it becomes karma yoga. Not that simply a donkey working hard for nothing is not a karma yogi. He is working hard. So nowadays, this is the false misunderstanding. People are talking about 90 hours. Then there L&T guy who said, 90 hours per week one should work. Then there was this Alibaba founder. He was talking about, he had this idea of 996. And we said, what is 996? He said that the people should work from 9 a.m. to 9 p.m. for 6 days a week. And then Sunday, you just enjoy your life. And they think this is the karma yoga. This is not karma yoga. This is simply the stringent laws of material nature where one is bound to work hard for the daily roji roti, right? So yoga means there has to be a connection with the Supreme Lord, and then only that can become yoga. Otherwise, it is simply a karma. So although such person may be celebrated as, something like the father of IT software revolution or something like that, the flip side of it is that, simply, the people are like, there are people who are very appreciative of the software engineering. And there are people, if you talk to CNR Rao, who is a Bharat Ratna and the top scientist of India, and he has very, very critical views about, the IT kind of infrastructure that is being produced by this 70-hour week of a culture. So simply working hard doesn't become karma yoga. There has to be a connection with the Supreme Lord for something to become yoga. Text 35. Yava kvachit tvam abale drishtya sudarshanam tava utsuno shikshamananam kanduka kridaya manah. Translation.
Whosoever you may be, O beautiful girl, you are fortunate in being able to see. We are fortunate in being able to see you. While playing with the ball, you have agitated the minds of all onlookers. Purport. Demons arrange many kinds of performances to see the glaring beauty of a beautiful woman. Here it is stated that they saw the girl playing with a ball, sometimes a demoniac arranged for so-called sports like tennis with the opposite sex. The purport of such sporting is to see bodily construction of the beautiful girl and enjoy a subtle sex mentality. This demoniac sex mentality of material enjoyment is sometimes encouraged by so-called yogis who encourage the public to enjoy sensual life in the different varieties and at the same time advertise that if one meditates on a certain manufactured mantra, one can become God within 6 months. The public wants to be cheated, and Krishna therefore creates such cheaters to mispresent and delude. These so-called yogis are actually enjoyers of the world, garbed as yogis. Bhagavad Gita, however, recommends that if one wants to enjoy life, then it cannot be with these gross senses. A patient is advised by the experienced physician to refrain from the ordinary enjoyment while in the diseased condition. A diseased person cannot enjoy anything. He has to restrain his enjoyment in order to get rid of the disease. Similarly, our material condition is diseased condition. If one wants to enjoy real sense enjoyment, then one must get free of the entanglement of the material existence. In spiritual life, we can enjoy sense enjoyment which has no end. The difference between material and spiritual enjoyment is that material enjoyment is limited. Even if a man engages in material sensual enjoyment, he cannot enjoy it for long. But when the sensual enjoyment is given up, then one can enter spiritual life, which is unending. In the Bhagavad Gita, in the Bhagavatam 5.5.1, it is stated that Brahma Saukya, spiritual happiness, is Ananta, unending. Foolish creatures are enamored by the beauty of matter and think that the enjoyment it offers is real, but actually, that is not real enjoyment.
Whoever you may be, the demon said, "Oh, beautiful girl, we are fortunate that we are able to see you. And while playing with the ball, you have agitated the minds of all the onlookers." And this is how the demons they approached Sandhya, who was in Pramadakriti. In the purport, Srila Prabhupada writes, demons arrange different kind of performances to see the glaring beauty of the beautiful woman. And this cannot be, I mean, this is written almost 60, 70 years back, and this cannot be more true. And Prabhupada writes here, for example, the so-called sports like tennis, and especially arranged in a composite mix match. Now, this may appear slightly harsh to somebody, and Srila Prabhupada but you can just Google it, and you can Google this one statement: Tushar Gandhi's Tushar Gandhi's comments on women's tennis. Okay, and this Tushar Gandhi, who is the Pantu, who is the great grandson of Mahatma Gandhi, and he keeps on moving around, giving big lectures on the this and that and Gandhian way of life, and the simply encashing the surname Gandhi. And he was asked about once that why he likes tennis, and the comments that he made, they are far below dignity for this conversation, but you can watch them on the Google. It is available. You can just write Tushar Gandhi's comments on women's tennis, right? So, and this is how people may, like we have seen this in the previous discussion, how this women's liberation entire movement was arranged by a cigarette company, so that they wanted to double the cigarette sales, where women were absolutely, there was no question of women, smoking cigarette, thinking of their children, thinking of their family. And, this was given the garb of women empowerment, so that they also can smoke, and their market is doubled. So initially only men used to smoke, and their sales manager said that if you deprive half the population from smoking, how do you think that our profits will grow? And then the owner was shocked at this idea, and then slowly he just gave in. And they said that, okay, arrange that woman also will smoke, and that was arranged using women's liberation. Okay. So Prabhupada says here, this is the purpose. Many times, what is the purpose of what it is? There are so-called yogis whom we'll talk about, Sambhog se Samadhi tak. And actually, they are the enjoyers of the worst of the descriptions, died with worst of the diseases. But still, they will call themselves as yogi, and Bhagavad Gita doesn't approve this. Bhagavad Gita says that the one cannot actually enjoy with the gross senses. Just like a diseased person, what is the disease? The disease is thinking that I am this body. Dehatma buddhi is the disease. And how much a diseased person can enjoy? So one has to become free from the disease to really enjoy one's life. Right. The diseased person may do some enjoyment, and his enjoyment is some, some medicine that he's taking, some pathya that he's following, and some, what is that? Yoga nahi. What is the specific thing people do when they have some problem with the, I'm missing the word.
Ahar vihar.
No. Okay, they will do with some instruments, you have some fractured hand and it becomes locked. And then what you do?
Physiotherapy.
Physiotherapy. Yeah, okay, yeah, physiotherapy. So they may think medicine as the enjoyment or physiotherapy as the enjoyment. Sometimes, when our hand is locked for a long time, and then simply doing the physiotherapy also gives us a lot of happiness. So how much a diseased person can enjoy? Similarly, the person with the dehatma buddhi can hardly enjoy his life. Prabhupada says the pinnacle of enjoyment is the sensual life, and how long the sensual life lasts for. But when one awakens oneself and comes to the Brahma Saukhyam Tvanantam, Prabhupada says the real difference between the enjoyment is that spiritual enjoyment is everlasting. And what is the proof? The proof is that we all are chanting for last so many years, right? One may think, what is happiness, Prabhuji, I am getting? Look at the consistency that you are doing. You are chanting Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare for last 5, 10, 20, 30, 40 years. And you cannot do unless there is some innate happiness that your at least Atma is receiving, right? And that's why you are putting in so much of time and endeavor in this spiritual activity. So this is the Brahma Saukhyam Tvanantam. And Prabhupada says where the foolish creatures are enamored by the beauty of the matter, the devotees, they will be attracted to the real enjoyment, that is spiritual enjoyment. We are somewhere in between. Okay, at times we are enamored by matter, but we are convinced of the spiritual beauty. And for them, Lord Krishna has a beautiful verse in the Uddhava Gita where he says, my devotees, they are convinced of the spiritual life, but still they are not completely free from the attachment to the spiritual material life. May time to time, may slip from the highest standard, but still they will quickly acknowledge their mistake, regret upon their mistake, and quickly they will settle with the spiritual life. Kshipram bhavati dharmatma. So we will conclude here and continue tomorrow. Srila Prabhupada ki jai, Gaura Bhakta Vrinda ki jai. Thank you, Prabhupada. Thank you, everyone. Hare Krishna.
Thank you, Prabhupada. Thank you,
Thank you,
Prabhuji.
Prabhuji. Hare Krishna. Ram Prabhuji.
Prabhupada, thank you, Prabhuji. Hare Krishna. Thank you, Prabhuji. Thank you, everyone. Hare Krishna.
Thank you, Prabhupada. Thank you, Prabhuji. Krishna.